Nancy Ward is an American living in Ireland for the past 14 years. She is head of program development with Entrepreneurs Academy in Ireland, and she has a passion project, Kids Clothes. Kids Clothes is a startup specialising in raising money for charity, working with national schools and sports clubs to give your clothes a second life. She joins Miriam O'Gara on Business Block. Monday's Business Block is powered by Samantha Kelly's Women's Inspire Network. Well, everybody, you are very welcome for another edition of Business Block. And today I have Nancy Ward with me. She's a Women's Inspire member, and I'm so delighted to have her on the show. She runs Kids Clothes, and she is based here in Ireland. But she's not from Ireland, are you, Nancy?
I'm not. The secret's out. I tell you, I can't escape it. But 14 years in August, I will have been living in Ireland.
Oh, congratulations.
Years. Yeah.
So where are you based now?
So I'm in South Dublin. I'm in sort of the Shankill area, just off the M50.
Very good.
So we've always sort of lived in South Dublin since moving here. My husband is from Wexford. We were down in Rosslare yesterday visiting family and friends. So from Wexford, you know, it's good to get down that way.
Wonderful. And where did you two meet?
We met on a plane. So he lived in, my husband is Finbar, and he lived in Florida for 17 years. So we were both flying for work and had a bit of a chat, and then one thing led to another. And 2 years later, I was living in Ireland.
Oh my goodness. Can you remember where you were flying to when you both met?
We were both flying from Tampa, which is where we both lived, to Tallahassee.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story. That's a novel.
That's it.
You've heard of snakes on a plane, but
well, there you have it. Well, I would
sparks on a plane.
No comment. We'll leave that.
Very, very good. Now, Nancy, you have a wonderful organization. It's called Kids Clothes. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how that was born?
Yeah, absolutely. So Miriam, I would be a fundraiser for 25 plus years, both professionally and as a volunteer. So I've always been active with my son's school and the GAA and fundraising all year round. And when COVID hit, it was clear it wasn't going to happen, you know, and those funds are still needed by the school and by the club and those kinds of things. So I would have always sort of helped with the clothes jumble or whatever you want to call it. And I started thinking, you know, I knew I had bags of clothes sitting here after a year with charity shops closed, and the children are still growing. So, you know, we had a pile of clothes, and I thought, I bet you there's a lot of people with the same. And if I could put those up on a website and we could sell them and let them benefit the club who, you know, organized the collection, then we could help them fundraise. We could help families rid themselves of clothes they no longer need. And we can ultimately save the planet by keeping kids' clothes in a life cycle and letting them have more than one life and more than one home. So it's fantastic to have a sustainable capacity to the organization as well.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to just try for a second and just share the website. I don't know if you can see it here on your end. This is the Kids Clothes website, and it's a wonderful website. Have a look at it, everybody. And I'm on the fundraising page here. So fundraising for your cause. And I really liked this. I particularly liked your 9 points there, your solutions. We at Kids Clothes work with you, the cause, to select a date and time to host a collection. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's really quite simple. I've worked with up to 6 charities now, I think, at this point, and a few more on the books. So ultimately, it's just down to them selecting a date and time. And some people select multiple dates. And then families are welcome to come along and drop in their items. And then once the collection is complete, I come along and collect that from the organization. We hold it for 2 weeks for COVID cooling off, so that when we open those bags, we know that we're no longer at risk if they've come from a home where there was any issues. And then ultimately we inventory them, we put them on rails and hangers, we take photos of them, and then we upload them to our website. And then when an item is sold, 50% of that sale goes directly back to the charity that created that collection. So we have over 1,000 items on the website at the moment.
It's fantastic. I notice here that you also say in point 2, Kids Clothes Kids Clothes, that's your organization. So Kids Clothes create promotional material for you to use to spread the word about the upcoming collection and promote on social media. That's also a great service to provide, to actually work with the person.
Yeah, if you scroll down further, if you scroll down just a little bit further, you'll see some samples of some of the flyers that I've created.
Oh, they're very good. Yes, yes. Excellent.
So those are some of the flyers, and there's actually a few more that have been created. I need to upload those to the website. So we have a big collection coming up in Cork for the next 2 weeks with the Shamrocks GAA club there. So.
And do you find that you're working mainly with sports organizations?
Well, you know, it's funny because, for example, the Shamrocks Club in Cork, it's a men and ladies GAA club, but they're working with the 3 national schools in their area. So they're pulling in all of that real community resource to do the collection. And then the funds will, of course, go to the GAA, but most of the children in the national school benefit from that as well as members, of course.
That's absolutely wonderful, because I know sometimes if you think about charity shops, for example, people have got very, very fussy about the kinds of clothes they'll take from those shops. And sometimes something absolutely wonderful and new and certainly as good as new won't be touched, you know, and that, I think that very much was a Celtic Tiger thing. People wouldn't do that. They wouldn't, you know, get something that was basically new, but because it came out of a charity shop, they didn't. And that would sometimes put people off. But what you're able to do is you're able to, if you like, repackage and represent perfectly good, beautiful clothes. In fact, one of the things, I don't know if I can bring it up here, when I was having a look at your, just one moment while I see if I can find this for a split second. I'm not sure if I can. You give great tips. And I think just being able to do that, being able to give tips on how to present, I'm not sure if I can bring it up anymore, but you were able to show in one of your videos, can't just lay my hands on it now, if it's a white dress and it has a couple of little stains on it, that you could dye it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you can do with children's clothes. You know, they might have like a tiny little hole or a tiny little stain. You know, children are having fun and they're playing and, you know, things happen. But yes, ultimately, like you say, that one white dress that I profiled, I had 5 or 6 different people comment on what they might do. Somebody said they would add ribbons to it, and somebody else said they would dye it. And, you know, because it was white, it's so easy to dye anyhow. So it really, really does make it have a second life. There's a lot of moms, grannies, aunties who'd also love to do a little embroidery of a daisy or of a, you know, a band-aid, or do an iron-on, or somebody iron-ons through like Hickeys or other online stores. Or if it's a small little hole, you buy the iron-on, you put it on. So now it's like a soccer ball or, you know, something like that. And it has a second life. So it's lovely to see it when people can be inventive.
Absolutely. This is something that we used to do years ago when I was growing up, and nobody thought anything about it. Then suddenly it went out of fashion. And now, because of this focus on climate change and recycling and reusing, people are back again appreciating what are basically perfectly good clothes that your kids would love, you know, and can just be re-loved, re-owned. And what I love is that everything is so affordable on your site, really affordable. Tell me, is it easier to sell the girls' clothes up to the age of 12 is what you do, isn't that right?
That's right. So, and I mean, I do have some 13, 14-year items, but I would say I'm getting a real blend of purchases. Like I'd say it's 50-50 boys and girls. So I'm getting a real blend of purchases. And, you know, I think the funny thing about kids' clothes is unlike, let's say, women's fashion or men's fashion, you know, a dinosaur is a dinosaur is a dinosaur. A unicorn is a unicorn is a unicorn. So it was a t-shirt that was in style 5 years ago, is still in style today because children's fashion fairly, for the most part, is either pastel colors, bright colors, trucks, soccer balls, you know, it's very thematic.
Yes.
And so that stays true as an interest, you know, if it's Minnie Mouse or, you know, the Minions or something like that. You know, if children love that, they loved it 10 years ago and they love it today.
Absolutely, absolutely right. Oh my gosh. So the website is going since when?
Since March. Well, the first live items went sale March 19th. So we've been open, is that just about 2 months now? It's hard to believe. But we've already donated over €1,000 to charities. So really pleased with that in the
Oh,
short time that we've been open.
congratulations.
Yeah,
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 that's
fabulous.
now there are certain essential tools that you point to as well. Your steamer, your
I love my steamer.
your anti-steamer. Where would we be without them?
They're fantastic. And then you probably saw the other video where I gave the tips about buying
Yes,
secondhand.
excellent
And,
tips.
you know, I think it's just really important that people have a bit of fear around maybe buying secondhand. So if I tried to share some of those tips to alleviate that, you know, the key is to really zoom in, look at as much of the garment as you can. Most people who sell secondhand like ourselves, we try to be very transparent and say there's a stain on the back lower left, or there's a tiny hole up around the neckline, or the button needs mending, or, you know, we try to be very explicit as to if there is an issue, what that issue is, so that the person purchasing it, you know, knows what they're getting into.
Yeah, and as you say on the website, you know, you're talking sometimes big brands at small prices, and it's so attractive. It's so attractive to do
Absolutely.
this. With regard to the pandemic now, Nancy, how did it affect you once the last 15 months came around? What were the changes that you felt you had to make?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I really started because of the pandemic. So having only been open sort of 2 months, 3 months, really, the biggest issue is I thought I would have the support of transition year students and university level students on a much more hands-on basis. And because restrictions continued and continued and continued, I'm only just now able to get some support like that in and get some of that manpower. So I have 2 fashion degree students working with me, which is fabulous. And then several transition year students working with me. So they come in and they take the items out of the bags that were donated. They put them on the hangers, they hang them on the rails, and they're doing the photographs as well. So it's amazing. It's amazing to have their support. And they really feel like they're giving back. They understand that what they're doing by contributing their time and energy is supporting those charitable organizations that we work with. So it really is a win-win. It's a lovely scenario.
Yeah, I've come across a lot of transition year projects, and some of them are really quite useless. This is fantastic. This is a fantastic way to actually use that time in transition year. It's wonderful. And I love the way you use your equipment too. You've got all the same equipment I notice as myself here, and you've become expert at it, and you're using it really well. You've really researched how to get the best out of filming that little suit, that baby suit, or those baby's pants, or whatever it is. You know, you seem to have the eye and the knack. And that's really important too, to have an eye for how to sell something.
Well, you're very kind. It was a lot of reading and investigating and trying to figure it all out. I have a friend who's a photographer and he gave me some assistance, but I've enjoyed the process. I love learning. So it's been
Yes.
a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. And doing the videos, I didn't do them initially, but as anybody who plays in the social media space knows, it's sort of part of the game is to really expose yourself and show who you are and highlight your personality. And so I've had fun doing the videos and trying to highlight the products, but have a little bit
Yeah.
of fun along the way because sure, what's life without a bit of crack, you know?
Exactly. And that's exactly what comes across. You have the personality and you are making it look not like, oh God, loads of hard work here, loads of bags to bring in. You're actually enjoying it. And that's communicated very, very well. And it just shows you it is half the process. It's 50% of the selling. Can you
Absolutely.
talk to me about the Entrepreneurs Academy?
I have a fundraising background, so I would have worked in America for the American Heart Association and the American Cancer Society. And when I moved to Ireland, I worked with the organization called One Family, which actually has done a collection. I have some of their items up on our website,
Yes.
and the Irish Heart Foundation. But as well, my husband decided to start a business. So he and I, for 10 years, ran a construction company here in Ireland. And that gave me that entrepreneurial knowledge. So a friend of mine was working with the Entrepreneurs Academy and asked me to come on board as a trainer. So I started doing that. And then long story short, I've ended up becoming one of the core team members with the Entrepreneurs Academy. So I do a lot of work in the space of content development, program development, and engaging with the participants and the clients and supporting them on their journey. So we work with startup entrepreneurs as well as SMEs on their growth journey. So
Oh, that's amazing. Because that is, I mean, that particular academy is so well established now. And if I can just bring it up here for people to have a look at, I just hope it'll appear now. If it doesn't, I'll be very annoyed.
Yeah, 22 years. Joanne Hession started it in 98. So I think we're working on 23 years now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And Joanne is a real dynamo. She's actually the person who inspired me to do or to start Kids Clothes. Joanne is phenomenal. She's gone on to start a social enterprise herself called Lift Ireland. So if you're not familiar with Lift, you should definitely give that a Google as well.
Oh
so
my
there
gosh.
we are. There's the Entrepreneurs
The Entrepreneurs Academy is really excellent. I mean, the reviews from AIB, from Vodafone, people coming on, and they're really supportive of this particular organization. And it's the quality they talk about.
That's it. And to be fair, we're recruiting at the moment for 2 different programs, if you don't mind me just putting in a quick plug.
No, go ahead.
One is based in Kerry. So if you know any women in Northeast or West Kerry, we are recruiting female farmers, female producers, so like craft, art, food, artisan foods, and then female entrepreneurs in the Northeast and West of Kerry to participate in a transnational program. We'll be working with a similar group of women from Poland and really looking forward to that, but we're actively recruiting at the moment for that. So the other group or the other program we're promoting is for 3rd through 5th year students in secondary school. This is in collaboration with Griffith College. So it's a 1-week summer camp, which will be fantastic. It'll be over Zoom, which I know people are zoomed out, but we run really dynamic, interactive training where these young entrepreneurs will develop a product, develop their pitch with a group of peers that they meet in the camp and pitch it by the end of the week. So it's a fantastic initiative if anyone has a 3rd through 5th year student who is entrepreneurial at all.
Yeah. And again, when you talk about the 2 programs there, particularly the first one you were talking about, it's trainers you're looking for, people who will come in and train.
No, we're looking for participants.
Participants. Okay.
Absolutely.
So participants from Kerry,
Northeast, West Kerry, who are farmers, female local artists, or female entrepreneurs. So it's a transnational program.
What would be the requirement? Like, what are they expected to do?
So it's really going to be about a 6 to 8 month program where we will be inspiring them to become more active in society. It's called Women Active in Society. So seeing female farmers have a more significant voice in the ag environment, let's say.
Yes.
For local artists, it will be bringing them together to create a marketing plan to support them in, marketing their products. And then for the entrepreneurs, it really is as well about creating a network of support and, I guess, collaboration amongst entrepreneurs. So that's the initiative that we're working with. It's called NEWKD in Kerry. It's a local development program.
Can you just talk to me a little bit more about the one regarding artists? So artists from all areas of the arts, or are you talking about specifically music, singing?
Well, it's called local producers. And I think that's because it's about probably more likely a product that they're selling. Because the idea is that if it's a piece of art or a piece of pottery or a piece of jewelry, or like I said, artisan foods, if they're doing jams or chutneys or whatever it is,
right.
What we're trying to do is create a Northeast West Kerry sort of initiative, or I don't want to say a co-op because that word has a whole different group of connotations, but a group of women who would support each other and co-promoting their products and so coming together.
More artisan.
Artisan, exactly.
More artisan. Very, very good. My gosh, you're such a busy woman.
That's it. Sure, what else would we be doing? So
exactly. So do you find that you have that drive naturally? Was it something that you had when you lived in the States as well? Apart from being a fundraiser, was it something that went way back?
Yes. I mean, people often ask me where my off button is, but I think, I'm passionate and that passion really carries me and drives me. And, I'm very excited about kids' clothes, what I call it actually my little passion project.
Yes.
I just really believe in it. I believe in sustainability. I believe in the recycling of children's clothes because they have such a short life with each family anyhow.
Yes.
So, and even for your listeners, if they're listening and say, oh, I don't have, primary school children, who do you know that does? Would
exactly.
you share? Because we're so new, we're still like taking baby steps and trying to get the word out about our existence and just trying to make sure that people know we're here to support and, make their life easier by providing them an affordable, sustainable option for children's clothes.
Absolutely. And it's teaching them such good lessons as well about recycling right the way through. So important right now. Is there anything that you won't touch? Shoes, for example, toys?
We do shoes. So we do shoes and clothes. We ask that people only donate things that they'd be happy to receive in their own home. So if it has a big tear or a big black stain or something, they need to recognize, that they wouldn't be happy to receive that themselves. So we ask them to use their judgment. We don't accept tights or what I call knickers, jocks or socks, none of that. But obviously, tops, shorts, track pants, trousers, coats. We sell a lot of coats. Even we've only opened since sort of March, but we sell lots of coats because when people see good value and a good coat, they snap it up, which is great because they'll hold on to it till next winter, which is fantastic.
So just to give them an idea of how best to contact you, you have your Facebook page, which is at uppercase kids, uppercase clothes, uppercase IE. You also have your website, which is kidsclothes.ie. You have your Instagram page. Do you find that very useful? Do you find the Instagram page is more useful to you?
I do, because you can do those up to 60-second video on Instagram. And so it allows me to, as you've seen on my profile there, highlight a few of the products, because I think, a two-dimensional photo of an item doesn't allow people to get the idea of the quality. And so if I can sort of pop on and show a few items, it gives them a flavor of what's available on Kids Clothes. And I would just remind your listeners or viewers that it is Kids Clothes with 2 Ks. So it's Kids Clothes
Absolutely,
with 2 Ks.
Yes. A K and a K. Absolutely.
That's it. That's
And
it.
you have your Twitter handle there as well, which is @kidsclothes, lowercase, all lowercase in this case, IE at the end, no dot on that one. So there's lots of ways to reach out to you. And as I say, it couldn't have been better timed, this business. It
That's
really
it.
couldn't have
That's
been.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Really,
and my
really.
my email and the mobile is on the website as well in the footer. So I'm always looking for students who are interested in volunteering their time. So if they have an interest in fashion or photography, we're always looking for a few extra pairs of hands. I am based in South Dublin, so from some perspectives there is a limitation there. But I also have some interns working remotely. So if that's of interest as well.
Lovely. Now we are on a Monday. Our program here, my program Business Block, is powered by the Women's Inspire Network. And I know you're a member. I'm a member myself. How useful have you found WIN, as they call it, Women's Inspire Network?
Well, you're very good to ask. I've only just recently joined. I'd say it's maybe even only a couple of weeks. I haven't hit my first month yet. But, you know, Samantha Kelly, who's also the tweeting goddess, of course, is very kind and very generous. And I had a post up yesterday on Facebook and Instagram, again, highlighting that I have a large selection of clothes that have just come in for 0 to 3 months. So I was saying, if you know anyone who's pregnant with a baby girl coming, it's a great opportunity to jump on the website and get a few of those items. So she suggested I put it over on Twitter, which I did. And, you know, she shared it, which of course she has a huge audience. And then several of the other WIN members did the same. So I'm very appreciative of that because, again, my audience is very small at this point because I've only just launched.
But
so
that won't be for long.
Very appreciative.
It won't be for long, Nancy. I tell you,
Oh,
I'll get on there and I'll share it as well. Don't you worry. This
You're
is a really,
good.
really great company. And what I particularly like about it is the way in which you show the care of the product. Because a lot of people, if it's a pre-owned item, will wonder about the care and the cleaning. And you are very, very careful to show exactly what you do, how good the condition of the item is, and how you look after it, and how it's now ready for that person to purchase, to buy. You know, so wonderfully put together. Congratulations. It's a really, really good idea. And again, has come along at the right time, I think, for a lot of people. So thank you so much, Nancy, for coming on today.
You're very good, Miriam.
Not at all. I appeal to anyone out there who's interested. If you've got nieces, if you've got nephews, if they're the children, or if they're grown up and they're about to have kids, you know, just have a look. Spread the word. This is a wonderful little company. It's called Kids Clothes. And Nancy herself has so many strings to her bow, as we've seen there with Entrepreneurs Academy as well. So have a look at that too. You'll really enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Miriam, for having me on the program. Really lovely initiative that you've started.
No worries at all. I'm delighted to have had you on. Everybody, I'll see you again on Monday for Women's Inspires edition of Business Block. Every Monday, it's WIN members that I have on the show. Thursday is local business, national business, and international business. So if you've got anyone who isn't a member of WIN and they would like to come on the Thursday show, just get in touch and I'll be happy to have them on too. So everybody, take care of yourselves. Enjoy this wonderful bank holiday weekend. And thank you, Nancy, for being on the show today.
Thank you, Miriam. Bye now.